Hey y'all, and thanks for tuning in for episode 11 of 2 Tap Anime. This is Kenny, Food Kenny, the usual editor of the podcast, video editing and video producer. Usually I'm most of the one recording stuff, so got a little bit of housekeeping to say here to begin the episode. I know I'm not the best at what I do by a long shot, but me and the boys do put in a lot of effort to give you the best possible production in every episode. And unfortunately, with episode 11, we had a major setback with our audio recording and by extension, the video editing. That's why it was such a delay to even get this episode out. But we thought it would be fair to give everyone an explanation. It just didn't feel right uploading without an explanation, and uploading as is was not in the plans. We did not want to put it up as it was originally. And Jazz, being the champion of the universe that he is, he was able to actually rescue a ton of that audio recording to make it sound as good as possible. It went from absolute hot garbage to an insane level of polish that honestly we should have expected out of Jazz because he's a goddamn genius. But I honestly personally didn't think it was any of it was recoverable. That being said, there are some missing parts, and it's gonna make the flow of the episode seem a bit choppy and kind of confusing. And obviously, for that, I do want to apologize. Moving forward, though, we are recording our audio differently to mitigate any future issues. And we've actually already recorded and started the production of episode 12. So we hope you enjoyed that when it comes out. And as always, thanks for listening to us here at 2 Tap Anime. Here's episode 11. Enjoy.
Welcome, my peoples. It is two tap anime time again. Jazz, go ahead or roll away with the thingy.
You know, I didn't even bring it up, but
You don't even need it at this point. But you're gonna do it for the sake
yeah,
of the meme.
I gotta say word for word. Like if
I was gonna
just,
try.
if I'm a word off, it won't be right.
Yeah, I was gonna try and say it here off of out of memory, but I was like, nah, there's no way.
So, welcome to 2 Tab, where we give our initial impressions on new and hot anime.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Welcome.
Welcome, everybody.
Somehow
we made it to episode 11.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like it seems like another One Piece recreation is what I was saying. Between the plot and the timing of it too. But going into it, it was more enjoyable than I thought it was gonna be, right? They kind of pull you in with some of the things that they do. A lot of the things were kind of like eye rolls to the opening scene where he's in the Meiji War and they're all just running up, getting shot, and he jumps in their trenches and starts stabbing everyone. It's just like okay, like okay, I didn't expect that from a protagonist in an anime.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
I thought that scene was cool, but go ahead, go ahead, man.
And he got his title, the immortal Sugimoto.
Yeah.
And so like it was very anime protagonist, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That aside, the story between the like he met the while he was traveling, he met the guy in the forest, which I thought that was a little weird, right? They're just sitting around a campfire talking. There's no like context as to how that came about, but he did get the story out of him how all the convicts were tattooed and released to the wild, basically. And so that's where it kind of like started to pick up a little bit because whenever that guy sobered up and tried to kill him, it started to add a little more credibility to that claim, right? Like there's this huge treasure that I left in one piece.
He fucking said it. He fucking said the thing. All right, guys. All right, ring a bell. He said it. He said the fucking thing. We can go home. All right, bye, guys.
and so from there, it was kind of like, well, we know that there's this huge treasure, and the protagonist, the homie, he's like, he needs the money not for his own sake, but for his buddy. I wonder how long they're gonna try and play that throughout the 3 seasons that they have, because it kind of gets to a point where it's like, I guess all animes have this thing that they're after, right? There's one thing that they're after, no matter how big or minuscule the claim is. They just kind of like stick with that thing. It's a little bit annoying, but I want to see how they play that out, right? Because what he's trying to do is take care of his late best friend's wife because she's losing her eyesight. And so that's kind of like, I don't know how to put it, but let's say like a couple seasons in, that's the kind of thing that you forget.
Yeah. I think it's it's interesting, right? Because like it tells you a lot about his character. Like with the goal like that, he's not even in it for himself. Like he's really in it for somebody else. It's an interesting goal. I'm really curious. Yeah, I had the same kind of questions that you did too. Like, how are they gonna make that one goal last 3 seasons? But we haven't watched it yet, so we're gonna. I mean, I don't know.
I will say though, to add a little more to the goal, like the reasoning behind it. I knew that he met the little girl. Her father was killed in this particular incident, and so like that's a lot more reason to have this show than his reason. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to downplay his reason at all. It's obviously a big deal to him, but it's kind of like, you know, her dad died in this. She has a reason to fight. And so I think she's a really cool character. She's a native to that area, so I'm assuming she's Russian.
Yes. No. This is I still believe this is all in Japan.
This is in Japan?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because like all the city names and stuff like that, like Hakido.
Oh
and,
yeah, you're right.
Like,
that makes sense.
You know,
well,
but
that brings up some more questions. Like how did the Russians get the high ground?
I mean, Russians invaded different sides of the mountain, conquered areas. Like I don't know too much about the history of like Japan as well as like European countries or like Russia in general invading. I had no idea that even was a thing, right? But you know, it's a battle. Like I think they just wanted to make it seem more of like hope was being lost, right? Because you're having to fight an uphill battle against an enemy who has the high ground and
he has your high ground.
Yeah. So like,
how did they get there? Did they just like push you off of it?
I mean, we don't know. We don't know. But she's definitely like a native of the land, and I think that's a cool aspect.
I like her character a lot. Like if I watch this show, it would be for her.
I'm trying to figure out how to pronounce this again. What was it? Is it Ashripa? Right? Is that her name?
I don't recall. I know she's an Ainu. I know her tribe.
Like
yeah, it's Sharipa, I think.
Yeah, it's like a Sherpa or something like that.
A Sherpa, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
A Sharipa. I'm gonna say Asharipa. Whatever. It's fine.
The Ainu. We only meet one.
Ainu. Yeah. Okay. She's the Ainu.
But yeah, so, it's something. As I'm watching this, right? I knew I wouldn't like it as much as I enjoy Burn the Witch, but I chose to watch Burn the Witch first and watch this one second. That was a trap in itself, right?
Yeah.
But I ended up like enjoying it more than I thought I would enjoy it, right? Whenever the story does pick up, it kind of draws you in. The action sequence is, we'll say, better than what's the Inuyasha remake called?
Yashahime. Damn, dude, he fucking forgot.
Stuck that in there.
So I'll say the action is definitely way better than Yashahime for sure, but it doesn't compare to like new animes now. And I think something that's pulling us or me out of it personally is the weird CGI. I'm not against like the CGI. It's just it doesn't feel the same.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And so I like what they were doing, right? This bear that they portrayed, that was a massive bear, dude. I don't know if you guys have seen bears before, but that thing was like a mammoth.
That thing was chonky.
And so
chonky only.
That was a cool little section there. The first guy that they were interrogating, he got shot in the face, and it was kind of like, whoa, what's going on? So they're being hunted by another section of the military, which I thought that was cool too. That little fight that he had. In fact, that was probably the best fight in the first 2 episodes, was between the two Japanese military units.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty cool. The best interaction for sure was the second convict that he came across whenever they fell into the river and they were going to freeze to death. Yeah. My dude was like, yo, help me find these bullets. And he was like, why? And he said,
you want to die?
Yeah, you want to die? It was basically, they had a deal, right? It was like, if I give you gunpowder, you're letting me go. And so they agreed to it, and he said, "Here's your game pattern."
He was a carny like escape artist, so he just had like a revolver bullet, like, you know, that he would just regurgitate up, and he forgot about it, and well, at the time, but he remembered when he made the deal, and he was like, all right, well, here you go.
It wasn't that he forgot about it. It was more like he didn't know that it was necessary for survival until the guy needed it. And then at that point, it was like, you know, I'd rather not die.
Live. Yeah, I'd rather live.
So that little agreement that they had, I was feeling that, right? That's something I respect. He's like, we save each other's lives, so don't kill me, basically.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah. Like I said, it was just it's little things like that. Overall, the story is not something that I like. It's been played out at this point, but I did enjoy it. I'll say that I did enjoy it.
All right, go ahead, Jazz. We're gonna go ahead and let you come back in.
No, that was it. Like I pretty much wrapped it up at that point. Like I said, the show overall, it still feels like a recreation of One Piece. At the same time, the action is not really on par with newer animes. There's just a lot of like things to nitpick at, right? But I did enjoy it, so I wouldn't tell anyone not to watch it. Let's put it that way. I did enjoy it.
Okay. Kenny, what are your thoughts, man? I'm gonna go ahead and segue off to you.
Let me just piggyback a couple things off of Jazz here. One, if you're tired of fucking watching shonen anime, so if you're tired, if you don't want to watch One Piece, but you want to watch somebody find some fucking treasure in One Piece, this might be your show, buddy. This might be it. Like it's dark. It's got enough action. It might not be the best action, right? But it's got a lot of action. He's fought bears. He's fought criminals. He's fought the military. He's fought other military people. Like, I mean,
mind you, in the first 2 episodes, there's a lot of action.
There's a lot of action, man.
2 episodes, right? There's a cool sidekick / not sidekick character because she can hold her own pretty well. But there is already like an introduction of like a cool teammate, cool partner character, the Ainu girl. They use the traps pretty well. A lot of the little things that they talk about, right, when they ate the squirrel, and they were just like, when she was like teaching him like little things about her ways, I was like, yeah, that's cool. I like that. I do enjoy things like that. There's something I did want to say here that Jazz mentioned as well. Yeah, so there's levity, right? Like it's not like this super serious, like it's not always like brooding and gloom and darkness, because there are those like light moments, right? Like that scene with the criminal when they fell into the freezing cold water and they were gonna die of fucking hypothermia, right? They were freaking the fuck out. They were like instantly in shock, and it was funny. Like that was hilarious. I like that wasn't just like me just sitting here just like kind of laugh. It was me like that's good shit, right? Like I was like, hey man, they got a pretty good laugh out of me. Like I had to be like, all right. I didn't realize this type of show had that in it. So I think the potential for the show is actually really high. When I agree with Jazz too. When I first watched it, or when we first like it got revealed, I wasn't too sure if I was gonna even enjoy it, right? Unlike Jazz, I did watch it first because I felt like I would enjoy Burn the Witch a lot more. So I wanted to keep that one for last. I didn't want it to get like ruined or influenced or anything like that. And I think that helped me out because I think I enjoyed this show, Golden Kamuy, a little bit more than you might have, Jazz.
Okay.
Let's see here. There's another quick thing that I wanted to bring out. The girl.
The Ainu.
The girl, the Ainu, right? He gave her a pencil to draw shit with, and she was like, "What the fuck is this thing? This thing's amazing, right?" And then he does the little thing,
the pencil bendy.
He did the little pencil bending thing, and I was just like, "Bro, what in this show?"
You have to admit, though, as a kid, that kind of blew your mind. You're like,
did!
whoa!
It did!
It's rubber!
It did! It really did! But the fact that they did
the
this...
pencil's doing this.
Right. But the fact that they did it in this show, right? Did you expect to see that in this show?
No, not at all.
Exactly. Like, that's the type of shit, like, it's like... And, like, it didn't feel out of place or forced or anything. It just felt like a good comedic scene.
Yeah, genuine.
Yeah, it felt good. It felt like, I was like, I didn't feel taken out. I was in there. I was both the adult, because I have, like, little kids in my house, and I've done that shit to them before, and I felt like the kid, because I've seen that shit happen to me as a kid, and I was like, this is amazing. Like, so that's what I'm saying, like, that's what I wanted to bring up again. Like, it has potential to be a really good, well-rounded show. It does have great serious moments. It does have great dark moments. It has great light moments. Like, it could get really fucking gloomy, and it could get really fucking serious, right? But also it has these moments to kind of just break through that tension, to kind of just let you breathe, let it fucking expand, right? It's not all doom and gloom. These guys are humans. They're acting like humans, right? Even the most emo motherfucker can have a funny joke here and there, right? So
yeah.
I do want to praise the show. It does have a lot going for it. I do like the art. It does look very high quality. There wasn't anything that stood out to me, at least, that, like, wasn't high quality, right? Like, it didn't look like fucking 15 FPS during the fighting scenes, right? Those bears were fucking coming, bro. There was nothing all he could do was just like,
Discord cut this scream out because you peeked, but yeah.
It works, baby. Thank you, Discord. Thank you, Craig, and eventually thank you, Jazz, for making me sound better later. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, that's all I really had to say. I didn't really have too much to say. I think it's a cool show. I'm pretty sure I might watch a few more episodes. Like I said, I'm not really watching anything either, so fuck it, let's do it.
I have to agree with what Kenny said a whole lot. He didn't bring up the whole, like, her native culture, the things that she did whenever they were, like, eating or preparing the food. She ate the meat raw, and it was a whole, like, weird little section in his shoes because, you know, he's not used to eating meat like that, and she gave him the brain, right? And he was kind of like, what do I do with this? And it was almost like she was kind of disrespected because she's offering him food, and he's in this situation where he has to eat the brain of the squirrel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like those kinds of things I really like, because that's the interaction that you would have with someone who's native. You know what I mean? Like, if you turn down the food that they offer, that's kind of disrespectful. So you have to. It was a weird scenario, but at the same time, it feels real. It feels genuine.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to praise the show. Like, it feels really good. It feels real. I mean, it's an anime, right? But it feels like it has real world parallels.
Yeah. So something. Are you finished, Kenny?
I'm good. That was it.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and go into mine. First off, the intro and outro, nothing too crazy. I like the outro a little bit more than the intro. The animation for both of them was, like, pretty good. Like, I feel like the song choice was, like, a bit right? But so it's nothing too crazy. No absolute bangers here. It's not the Peggies, so that's my bar now. Like, that's my golden standard.
It's the high Q.
That's the high Q for my anime intros for this simulcast and this podcast. No joke, but I mean, it's still got the job done. Like, the intro, like, towards the end gets a little bit better, but, like, whatever. Like, so now I want to talk about some of the things. So first off, like, the plot, you know, the intro, like, the action, like, it kind of, like, immediately puts you in there, like, the type of person and the type of shit that Sugimoto had to go through, like, in war, right? Like, he was just like, I just told I think another thing he talked about, he's like, you know, like, granted, like, he was, like, a normal kind of guy. The thing that set him apart from most people was the fact that he was just like, all right, it's kill or be killed. I'm in there. Like, he didn't hesitate. All these people who were in war, like, you know, he was just like, what set me apart from them and what made me the immortal Sugimoto was the fact that, like, he's a little batshit crazy. Like, he's just like, you know what, fuck it. Like, no, we're in a war. I'm here to kill. Like, I'm not gonna die here. Like that was what really kind of set him off and apart from other people. So then he learns well, his best friend from childhood. So that was a little bit of information that I don't know if you caught. He's known the guy that he's doing, the one that died. He's known him since they were kids. He had a picture with them, and he had a picture of his family with him. I mean, of course, he got the picture of his family after he had like died in battle, but um, I think that's another like huge motivation for him, is because it's like, this is my childhood friend. Like, I grew up with him. He died, and I kind of want to like remember him by taking care of his family, because like he can't. So I think that's a pretty strong like pull based off of the action and shit that he kind of like had to go through. Um, while there wasn't too much explanation for like the dude who like told him the story in prison, I think he was just another like pan miner, like he was. You know, I think that's really it. I mean, at the end of the day, it really kind of doesn't matter, because all that really matters at this point is the journey, right? And like how he gets there. I mean, granted, it's I talked a lot in the past about like it needs to be plausible, it needs to make sense, but explanation yada yada yada. But I feel like this was enough. I feel like it wasn't good, but it was enough, right? Like how they kind of got started on this journey, and going from there, man. Like the action in the show is, I like it. I think it's a little endearing. I kind of, after a while, you kind of want to stop seeing OP people swinging like Omega Galaxy ending punches and shit like that. You want to see dudes kind of like bare knuckle brawl with a gun, like with the dagger and stuff, right? Like you kind of, I feel like with this era, right? I think it's fitting too. I think that's why I like it a little bit more. I think that's why I find it a little bit more endearing. However, if I can see why most anime fans probably wouldn't like that, right? Because it's nothing too like over the top anime about it, right? That you're like most anime fans are looking for, especially like shonen watchers. So if you're like really into like One Punch, like, or One for All, like Deku smashing, like kind of stuff like that action, or Dragon Ball Z, and that like that's your bar for action, you're probably not gonna like this. It kind of reminded me in a weird way of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, like some of the fights with the non-alchemy users, right? It kind of felt like a lot like that. If you enjoyed sections like that, like when you find like Riza like shooting people, or like the traps and booby stuff, like with Eugene Havoc and stuff. Like if you enjoy stuff like that, I feel like you'd like this. I feel like they'd be right up your alley. But you guys had already touched on the major stuff that I wanted to, like the chemistry. The show can get really dark. The show can get really funny. The show has really nice pacing, and like I felt like like I was going along this journey with these two characters, and something that you guys had started talking about, you touched on it, but I really want to commend something that this anime, and I think the major reason why I like it so much, is the chemistry between Sugimoto and the Ainu, right? The native. Them two together, like you would think that like what the fuck, right? How are these two characters getting along? But they do. And it's not like they immediately like right out the bat like just are friends, right? These awkward and funny moments happen between them, and not to mention like she's still kind of a kid, right? And he's like grown ass man at this point, and he's like gone through wars, like but the crazy thing is what they really feed off of each other, like they feed off of each other in experience and different things, right? She's a kid, so she can't really like physically like overpower a lot of people, so she has to outsmart them. Now Sugimoto, when he's in a situation where he can't overpower somebody, he's like, well, fuck, like I'm screwed, right? But then she like kind of comes in and is like, hey, like here's how we beat this. Here's how we're gonna do this, right? And she kind of is like,
her traps really came in clutch, dude.
oh, 100%. It's crazy. He's learning so much from this girl. Like, wow, there's another strategy than running it down mid. Like, I mean, running it down mid has been pretty successful for me. However, just like there are other ways to do this. Oh shit, this is crazy. Like, this is kind of cool. And not to mention the traditions and stuff. It's like really cool how like they kind of stick up for each other. And other than that, like like I really enjoyed it. It kind of, for a person who was kind of interested in the concept of One Piece, but like was really intimidated by that huge number. I think this is like a good, like substitute, right? Like if you know for a fact that you're not going to do something as major as One Piece, right? But you still like the aspect or the, you know, concept or idea of something like that, then I think this is definitely for you, man. Like I really do. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm gonna continue it. I know that for a fact. This is, I've had a lot of really cool art come out of this. A lot of funny moments between the two. A lot of serious moments, and I just really enjoy it, man. I think that's all I really need to say about it. Is there anything else that you guys want to add? Are you guys going to continue this? I know Kenny said he was.
I'm really on edge about it. Like you might have to convince me, but it's definitely, like I said, I enjoyed it. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it, but I did enjoy it. So I'm definitely really on edge about it. Next week I may or may not have watched more episodes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's because like I know for a fact this is something that like I'm interested in, man. Just I don't know, like I'm getting a lot of Brotherhood vibes from it, like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood vibes from it. Just because I don't know why.
I like that comparison that you made because I do see that a lot in the show. I'll say though, like it doesn't move as fast as Full Metal does. It's very I hate to use this word for an anime, but it's a lot more realistic.
Yeah.
The way that the fighting happens, you're not like whooshing around and doing all these crazy things, right? It's like you don't have abilities and you fight like almost in real time. You know, you're not going to be hitting someone in the face 5 times per second. That's unrealistic.
I like that you bring that up, right? So like I would say like there's a real slight twinge of like realism to it. Like it focuses a little bit more on like the realism aspect of these fights and encounters and stuff like that, right? Even though this is kind of like an anime and fantasy elements and yada yada yada, they're there. But I think one of my favorite moments that like kind of was in that jarring like realism moment, right, was when so he's fighting the other army member who was in the 7th division, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're going at it like it's a pretty intense fight, like hand-to-hand combat. These dudes are like both trained military wise, and like it's like, oh, okay, right? And then the resolution of that fight is like the dude starts getting away and he just picks up the musket and he just like javelins it and hits him in the back of the head, and this dude conks, right? And you're like, yeah, no, that makes sense. Like it's a little anticlimactic, but like you're like, yeah, the dude got hit with the like an M grand, like this dude's gonna get knocked out. Discuss, like, a guess why this anime looks so familiar.
I was gonna say that actually. It looks like what the fucking show Bleach. It looks like Bleach.
Kenny, Jazz.
It looks like Bleach.
Yeah, they look like they're
Jazz,
from.
Do you have a guess? Do you have a guess as to like what show?
Open up the picture right now, Jazz.
To me, it looks like in much brighter colors. The art style looks like Samurai Champloo.
That's fair. I can see that too.
So surprisingly enough, I had the same idea as Kenny. I was like, this looks like a lot like Bleach, right? And while doing some research, it's the same author.
Okay, that makes sense. So
yeah, go ahead.
Here's why I thought it was like Bleach, and it's gonna sound terrible. All right, what do we know about Bleach? Right,
we know this. Let's go.
We know it's got really big swords and really big titties, and one of the girls that's in there, like, I didn't really notice it until she, like, literally one camera angle was just them, like, at chest height, the camera, for some reason. No, and I was just like, damn, she got some fucking titties, bro. Is this Bleach? And then, that's literally, that's all I said to myself, right? And maybe subconsciously I had already made that connection. But, like, later on, I was watching that episode, and I was like, this girl's got some real Ichigo vibes to her right now. Like, she's got, like, the orange hair. She's really fucking loud and shit. Like, all right.
Welcome back, Craig. We missed you.
Glad you could show up and clock in on time for your job.
Fucking Craig, dude.
Glad you decided to show up.
Who would have thought that of the 4 people in here, Craig would be the one fucking up?
I was expecting me. Jazz first, but then me.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was expecting me.
I'm always on time. I don't know what's going on with you guys. All right, go on.
I know this is like not relevant to the anime at all, but because we're making jokes about being punctual, they started. We have a 15-minute leeway right before we clock in, and so a lot of people started clocking in at 14 minutes. And they call it the Jazz.
Nice. Let's go, dude. You have no section.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to say that because I'm infamous for that stuff.
All right.
But yeah, back to the show. After we've already talked about it for 30 minutes and have said nothing about the show.
Yeah, honestly.
This show's my jam, dude. Like watching it, I knew beforehand because, like, you already know this. I follow Crunchyroll, and so I get little clips of like new stuff that are coming out. I knew going in that I was gonna like it because what I saw was already entertaining. Whether it was a little bit of feeling this or action sequence or even just a little bit of the animation itself. I don't know what they're doing, but it looks cool. You know what I mean? Flying around in dragons and stuff. When we started watching it, they introduced so the opening scene is where she's coming out of like I guess like the secret house.
It's a studio. It was a studio.
Yeah, you got like all the photographers and people trying to get like news spiels and stuff like that. They're just following her around, and then she goes behind the alleyway and then jumps into the secret portal or whatever. So just in that open scene alone, you get a little bit of information about like who the main character is. It's kind of like, well, she doesn't portray the same personality as like Mai Sakurajima, but she is famous in that world, and so that was a little connection that I made, and it lets you know a little bit about her character. When she started acting like a little child, it makes it a little more like, okay, so now I have a hold on who she is as a character. And then her counterpart, honestly, like I thought I liked the first girl, Nini.
Yeah.
I thought I liked her up until they introduced Noelle, and I was just like, she's so like, I don't know what it is about her, to be honest, because everything about it dialed down in comparison to the main girl, but she just handles everything in her own way, like almost nonchalantly, if that makes sense. Like she doesn't care, but she gets the job done, if that makes sense. And so I kind of fell in love with their character. When the guy came in, it was like, thanks, Noelle, you saved my life again. I was feeling that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we can all relate to that.
Relationship ended with all waifus. Noelle, I would like. Noelle is. No, I mean, Makoto. No, I would never. I mean, jokes aside, like I just had to preface that. But Noelle's a really like top tier waifu. Like I'm just saying, like if,
honestly,
she 100%.
She doesn't even try. Like, what about her character do we like? I don't know, but I like her.
She's just so cold. She's a badass. She knows what to fucking do. She's funny as fuck without even trying to be. Like, just like, Noelle, I love you. I don't think anything that I did warranted that, but okay. And, it was a compliment. I mean, once again, I get that it was a compliment, but I didn't do anything that was worth a compliment. Like, it's just like she's like, think moments like that. Like, she just makes her just top notch.
Mm-hmm. And like, so that's just the characters. I already like them, as you can tell. As far as like the story develops, I think they played their cards a little too soon, if that makes sense, because they introduced the top horns, right? The Knights of the Round Table, that kind of deal. That's the kind of thing that you kind of have to build up to. You're basically introducing the Akatsuki in episode 1, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? This is how outmatched you are, right? Can you imagine introducing the Hashira in episode 1 and then you have to fight him? It's like you don't stand a chance. This is kind of the situation that they're in right now in Burn the Witch. They're fighting one of the top horns. What are they going to do? So it's going to go one of two ways, right? Either they're going to overcome him, and that's going to like downplay the whole like Knights of the Round, the whole top horns. So now they're not as cool as we think they are, or they're going to get rolled over, and the series is going to end.
Game over.
Yeah, the ball is definitely in the court of it's a little messy, right? But with the intention that he had, I think it was. I think I have to cut some slack there, but yeah, I see what you're saying. Is there anything else you want to talk about overall in terms of like plot or characters or anything?
I like the whole like dragon thing. It's kind of hidden from like most people's sights. So now that we've made that connection, I can see a whole lot of it like overlapping with Bleach, because people can't see the what were they called? Hollows. People can't see hollows, and so it's kind of cool in that sense. I don't know exactly how like all the science works behind it, but I think they said something about coming into contact with it is poisonous. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, they had like a rating, like because they made like, did you come in contact with the dragon? No. Well, I know you said no, but we have to test to see like what your level is like of or exposure, or you know what I mean. So
yeah, and then I would assume it's also very contagious as well. So they took it very seriously. So I'm not entirely sure how they handle that. Maybe it was a lack of me paying attention or a lack of them explaining it, but I can kind of go with it for the story's sake. I like that. I like the secret society London, like the reverse London that they have. That was pretty cool. And after you compared it to Harry Potter, I couldn't unhear that. So thanks.
You're welcome, buddy.
So seeing a bunch of like Harry Potter stuff happening in the show. I'm not a big Harry Potter fan, but I do like what it introduces and that kind of stuff. So if you couldn't already tell, I really enjoyed this series, and I'm definitely going to continue it, even though there's only one episode left. You said it's the end of the season?
That's the thing. That's the thing, right? Like, because there's only 3 episodes because it was it was supposed to be a 1-chapter thing, and then it did really well. So he's like, "Fuck it, I'll do 4 more," right? And then that was what they based the entire like 3 episodes off of, was like those like 3 to 4 chapters, right? So this is season 1. Because that's all the material. This is all the material for it, and this is why I was saying this is a spoiler alert. Because technically, we watched the fucking series. Because there's only 1 episode left. There's literally no reason for us not to continue. Like,
well, you know what that means? That means they die. The top horn just rolls over them.
Well, there's a season. It got confirmed for a season 2. It got confirmed for a season 2.
My dude said, "You thought you could hide from me?"
Man, you know what? That horn, he was like the bottom rung of the horns. Like, he just inherited his. He isn't actually cool as it or anything.
Yeah, we don't know anything about things like that. But
like,
I honestly believe if you're a Bleach fan, if you're a fan of shonen in general, like, you literally have no reason to not watch it because it's only 3 episodes long.
Yeah. It's like, it's funny. I was actually talking to someone yesterday about like, the guy asked me, he's like, you like anime? I was like, yeah, I mean, I watch anime here and there. I was wearing my Akatsuki shirt at the time. Okay. He said, did you watch Fooly Cooly? I said, of course I watch Fooly Cooly. He was trying to introduce it to a friend of his, and he said, like, he won't watch it. And I said, dude, it's 6 episodes. Just watch it.
Yeah, like this is gonna sound stupid, but like, okay, you guys are on episode 11 of this fucking podcast. You fucking like anime. Like, there's no point for you to not watch this, because I know that every anime degenerate fucking has time to watch 3 episodes. Literally, it's only 3 episodes. Like, if you don't like it after episode 1, then stop. But like, even still, like, there's only 3 episodes. So like, it's like watching a movie at that point. It's not even an hour and 30 minutes.
Bro, if you watched 11 episodes of 2-Tap Anime, first off, shout out to you.
Yeah, shout out to that guy. Shout out to you.
Secondly, yeah, just fucking watch it, man. Like, literally 22 minutes, 23 minutes each episode, right? That's standard, par for the course, bro. I know every fucking degenerate, anyone that's ever watched anime has watched more than 3 episodes in a sitting multiple times.
Yeah, easily.
Like, countless times. Like, even I sometimes will be like, oh, fuck, I'm about to watch 8 episodes right here, right now, because I can't fucking fall asleep.
Yeah.
2 hours of sleep before work. Let's go, baby.
And before I finish off, like, I know I pretty much said my entire piece, like, everything about the show. There's things to like, there's things to dislike. I get nitpicky when I need to be. But overall, I really do like the show. Something that I forgot to mention that I think I found my favorite character, and they literally had no screen time. So when they did, like, the top horns, like,
when the fuck are you gonna show up, right? Like,
yeah.
When you take anything seriously, you're not even here.
Yeah.
There's like a folded note, like, absent, like.
Yeah.
That dude, I don't know who they are, but BBC Connor or something, like, make it
give him fucking Oliver or some bullshit.
Oliver, or I like
God damn it.
demographic.
Fucking Gerard also, or some shit. Come on, man. Gareth.
I want to give a commending point to this, though, too. It's really refreshing to see an anime in, like, a major geographical location that isn't Japan.
Right. Like, the only place on Earth is Japan.
Well, like, obviously it's a demographic, right? But, like,
right.
it's really refreshing to see, like, them go out of their way to like they're in London, like it's fucking cool. Like, that's really amazing. Obviously, it's like so.
I'll talk about that here. Right, when you're making, like, a lot of these guys, right, they're making their first stories, right, that they're trying to make, like, as successful as possible. So they're pulling from what they know already, right? They know Tokyo, they know Japan, they know fucking wherever wherever their universe is. Like they're like, all right, we're good with this. We can draw amazing backgrounds. We can draw all these things. It's gonna look fucking dope, right? Kubo has the fucking clout to try something like that and get away with it. Almost everyone that tries it and to get away with it fucking fails, right? It's it sucks, right? Unless it's a fucking isekai, but fuck isekais, right? But I mean,
I love
like
them.
like a real world setting like that, like it's really hard for a non-native to pull off without having like that clout and that like exposure to it. I'm sure Kubo fucking had the time, you know, with that Bleach money in his fucking bank to just hang out in London for about a year and a half and be like, yeah, this is fucking dope. Let's write about it.
I feel that
he saw the dethroning of J.K. Rowling as an author and an influence and an icon and said, "I can take that. I can take that place. That's me now."
It's me, Mr. Potter.
He's like,
Mr.
"Oh wait, so there's free real estate for a magical fantasy world in the UK? Hell yeah, dude! I got you.
It's free real estate.
It's free real estate."
All right, but yeah. But other than that, like, there's one other thing I wanted to really bring up because the show is cool as shit, right? Fucking watch the show. But there's like a trope that we don't really talk about too much, which is like the dynamic between the bright, loud character and the more reserved, more calm, more cold character, right? Mm-hmm. Here's this one's for Jazz right here, Jazz, right? Jazz, this one's for you, Jazz. All right.
Okay, it's for me.
All right. In Haikyuu, we have Shoyo and we have Tobio. Right? We have fucking little fucking runt motherfucker with orange spiky hair that's loud as fuck and flashy as fuck, alright? And then we have fucking Kageyama over here. The motherfucker is cold as fuck. He's ice, motherfucker. He's ice. Right? He's cool with it, man. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly how to do it. He gets it done. The guy's fucking cool with it, right? He's got all the talent in the world, and he's just like, motherfuckers, right? So and he has like that same sort of like vibe to him, right? He doesn't really like make too many jokes. He just has this rivalry with fucking Shoyo, right? You know what other show has that? A bunch of them, a shit ton of animes.
All of
fucking Naruto and Sasuke was pretty much like that. Fucking there's another.
Vegeta.
Yeah, Goku, Vegeta, right? Like a whole shit ton of them have it, and it's not something that
everyone.
The fact that we're able to like just top of the head name a ton, you know.
Right, it's not something that we typically talk about because this is a dynamic that's like proven. It's a dynamic duo that's proven. Whether in certain animes like Naruto that dynamic gets fucking broken or severed in some way with Sasuke betraying Naruto, or in fucking Haikyuu's way where they're already at ends and they're just like coming together and becoming a better like fucking team, right? Regardless, like Burn the Witch has that same sort of trope between Nini and Noelle, and certain tropes are tropes because they fucking work. And Noelle and Nini,
they
fucking work.
It fucking works.
It just works, man. Fucking invest, put money in it. Stonks, baby.
The character dynamic is the infomercial that comes on at 3 a.m. You're like, what is it? It just fucking works. It fucking works. Just give me your money because you know that this shit fucking works.
This is a money printer, baby. You're gonna see Burn the Witch posters in everyone's fucking room. It's gonna be great. Watch the show. That's all I gotta say.
So for me, first off, like the character dynamics, the world building is really fucking cool. The introduction to some of these really badass characters. I mean, not to mention it's tapping back into that like really weird, like very nostalgic 13-year-old, 12-year-old Ashten, right? When he was first, like really delving into anime and really falling in love with Bleach. And it's like me falling in love with Bleach all over again. Like these 3 episodes really kind of like recaptured that like this new world, these interesting characters, the epic fight scenes, like the fucking animation. Like, can we just talk about how amazing these fight scenes were? Like the animation in like, the fight with the dragon, the fight with the the antler, flying bat thing, right? Like that that's the thing, right? Like, we don't even know what half these creatures are. I'm like so invested, right? Because like they mentioned like the strike force, like they want to be a part of that. We haven't even been introduced to that, so like they might have their own council on top of that. Like, we don't even fucking know, right? So it's like they give these little Easter eggs, they drop these gems, they feed curiosity, they answer questions, and at first, like, interestingly enough, right? When I was watching the series and I was making those parallels to Bleach without knowing that it was technically Bleach, right? I was like, man, these horns that they're using, it's like Rukia in the first season using all those spells, like Hado Art number 100, like Gatling Go, like, shit like that, right? It was like I was pulling that parallel, and the fact that I was able to pull that parallel, without knowing that it was Bleach, continuation of that shit, right? And then like once it, that rose, the ceiling was shattered, and I knew what it was. It's like, oh my god, they're fucking geniuses. Like the fact that it's able to pull from one series without directly saying that it's a continuation from it, but also building off and making something completely unique from it is just fucking phenomenal. And I love that, because this is what I wanted from like a series like Boruto or a series like Yashahime, right? Where you can have references or make homages to something, but let the series be its own thing. Let it do what it needs to do, because we got Bleach, we got Naruto, we got Inuyasha, right? If you're going to continue that, let it be its own thing. Like, I don't know. Some people could be the exact opposite, and I see that. I get that. But for me personally, like, it's a little, I want it to be like, all right, the Bleach is finished. You put it into it, right? Or Naruto is finished. You ended it. Let's move on.
And Burn the Witch, I can see it being its own thing, right? Like, sure, it's in the same universe, right? And sure, we're excited for it because of the Bleach parallels. But I mean, it does look like its own cool thing. Like me finding out that it's in the same universe doesn't change how much I enjoyed it. Like,
Yeah, same.
I was gonna fucking watch it regardless.
Not to mention it's only 3 episodes, so I had nothing to
I
lose.
didn't even know, yeah, I didn't even
had
know that.
nothing to lose.
I would have just watched that third
Wait.
episode and been like, "Where's episode 4 at?"
Episode 4.
Who am I
Guys,
fucking
real
fighting?
quick. Are you guys continuing the series?
Honestly,
Fuck
I'm on
no.
the fence about it.
Fuck no. Fuck this show. Fuck Bleach. I'm not watching any of this shit. I'm out of here.
Not to mention, I'm thoroughly invested because, like,
I'm
the
out.
plot potential with some of these waifus, and we've only been
Ooh,
introduced
plot?
to
We
like
like-
3 or 4.
What
Like,
do you
we
mean
got
it's
like,
only one? It's Noel. What do you mean?
We like
dude,
plot.
you're telling Jazz. At
I'm
first
about
we
to
were
put
sitting there. We watched season 1 of Bleach. We were like, there's like we saw Orihime. We saw the classmates like walking. We're like, all right, well that's it. Like, there's no more better waifus. And then bam, you can fucking get hit with Yoruichi. Bam, you get hit with like Rangiku. Bam, and I'm like, yo, this like the plot potential in this show is phenomenal,
We
man.
love
So
plot.
like, I'm in it. I'm in it. Like, Bleach
We're
is
men of
literally like.
faith.
Bleach literally is like, I had no idea this motherfucker was literally like aging fine wine in the coolers. Like, yeah, I got more of this shit, and you guys had no idea. And I'm just like, pour me another one, sir. Like, I'm in.
He's got a plot machine in his background.
Not even, dude. It's just like I finished the sampling. I was like, man, that was all that was just great. Thanks. I like the sampling was great, and he's just like, oh, we haven't even hit the cellar, and I'm like, I'm sorry. He's like, yeah, we have a second cellar, and I'm just like, oh, it's like.
All right,
I'm
let's
in.
wrap this bitch up.
Let's
All
wrap
right.
it up. All right, we'll talk about continued shows. I mean,
Did we watch any other shows?
I continued the rock climbing girls, and I mean, we already talked about ReZero. If we're gonna talk about ReZero again, we're gonna talk about like finales. We're gonna talk about like things like that. So we've already said what we need to say about it on this last episode. I did continue the rock climbing girls. So
Is there anything you want to add about Rock Climbing Girls? Because that was last week's episode.
yes. Something I do want to add about rock climbing girls. It's a negative, but for me, not really. But for other people, probably. It's hitting that the fan service, like it's hitting that. It's like it's kind of going down into it. Like they're starting to lean a little more into it. Like the first half, like specifically episode like 4, I think 3 or 4.
I only watched 3, which I think was the
monkey wall.
Yeah, the monkey wall with the.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, I'll use that as an example because three is a perfect example of it too. Like I think the first like half of that episode, just under half, was pretty like fan servicey,
Yeah, it was.
like with like these angles and stuff like that, and I was like, but like the second half of that episode really kind of picked up because it kind of went back into that whole traditional sports um I wouldn't say competition, but like training and like the backstory and like her like really trying to like finding that spark like to really like like okay, I know how to rock climb, but now I need to get my body in a position to where like it can perform what I want it to do, kind of thing. And it's really cool. um but like if you're not into that, I mean it probably will take you out of it. But if you're in for that, then go ahead, buddy. Like let me tell you, they crank it up. They crank up the fan service, man. So like if that's what you're into, that's what you're into. I mean, it's nothing too groundbreaking, but I'm having a good time watching it. It's got some funny moments. They're introducing some more characters. They did introduce like a trainer, kind of like a coach. He's some like old dude who goes to like the free wall that um they train at, like the bouldering wall. Like they go out into the forest, and like this dude's like, I'm not your trainer, but if you ask me questions, I'll help you, because he had like a bunch of titles and stuff like that. It's the same episode that Kenny's talking about.
Yeah, episode 3.
So they're introducing new stuff. They're keeping it sort of fresh, and they hinted at a new competition like a month away and stuff like that. So she's like really like busting her ass to like do well in that. So I'm really interested to see what they do with that. There's only like 4 episodes out right now, or five at this point. So
Yeah, it's not a full season yet.
it's not a full season yet. So like, I mean, that's why I'm kind of giving it some time to like, you know, do its thing. Did you guys continue anything else?
Jazz, did you continue anything? No, I watched a little bit more Yashahime. It's still gathering its bearings, but basically she's back in the past like Samurai Jack.
Samurai Jack.
Okay.
So that's where we're at right now.
I feel like before I even think about continuing Yashahime, I'm gonna watch Inuyasha. But like I don't.
I don't
really
know, man.
have,
Yeah, I feel like you're gonna prioritize Bleach over Inuyasha. So
honestly,
I would just do that.
Honestly, yeah.
I would just
I
do
don't
that.
think
Like that.
I don't think I'm gonna rewatch Bleach. I think I'm gonna read it.
That's fair.
I think I'm gonna read it because like obviously like I know for a fact that the anime goes into like a ton of filler seasons.
You can skip those. Just Google where the fillers are and just skip them. That's what I did with Naruto. That's what I always do.
That's probably what I'll end up doing. But I don't mind. I haven't read a good manga in a while, so I need to do that.
Fair.
Read.
Haha.
It's got pictures.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can do that.
Good stuff, isn't it neat?
So, anything else we'd like to add? Because I know our spoiler section was basically the second half of the whole episode.
Of the entire episode. I don't have anything else that I want to add. I mean, except for that I'm going to continue Snafu, so look forward to that OVA.
Oh wait, I gotta make sure. I gotta check something, Jazz. Where's Haikyuu?
I'm saying, dude.
So, we don't have to do a drawing this week, guys, because we only have 2 that are left, and that's Tonikawa and Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? So I'll go ahead and read off those bios really quickly. That we can make our thoughts about them. Just
Jazz.
Call that an episode.
Jazz.
Yes.
Oh, I know what I'm doing after this.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to do.
Hurry up and read those bios, dude.
Yeah, read
all right.
bios. I don't even have to
find them. Hold on, give me a second.
I don't even have those posters, bro. I'm just fuck it. I don't care. Who's gonna stop me?
Is it wrong? Okay, now what was the other one? Tonaka. I'm giving you a hard time.
Kawatoni, dude. Wait, Jazz. I didn't look it up, right? I just saw like the thumbnails and shit for it. Mm-hmm. When I'm browsing Crunchyroll and shit, I'm just like, man, that looks really good. Whatever it is, I'm into it. I'm gonna love it. So
what, Tonikawa?
Yeah, whatever it is. I looked it up, and I didn't look it up, right? I just see the thumbnail, and I see like Tonikawa, something over the moon, right? And I'm just like, yeah, I'm in. Whatever the fuck, right. I'm in. So sign me up, baby.
Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? So it's based off of the light novel with the same name, set in Aririo, where adventurers band together and look for treasures in an underground labyrinth known as Dungeon. However, for Bell, fame and riches are secondary to which he wants to find the most girls. He soon finds out, though, anything can happen in a dungeon and winds up being the damsel in distress instead. So, interestingly, okay. Kenny, you've already seen most of this season 1. I think did you rewatch it at some point?
No, like I remember watching it a long time ago. I just don't remember the show. I don't know if it was memorable enough, right?
I have a feeling that this is like at first going to be intended for a lot of fan service, and then they kind of like halfway through it developed like, you know what, let's get some plot, like actual plot.
It sounds funny. I can see like the main character being like super optimistic, right? Just going in like everyone's becoming a dungeon crawler for fame and glory and money, riches and stuff, and he's over here like, I want to meet girls.
Yeah, I feel like the comedy might be pretty good in this, not to mention
and then, like within the first episode, he like falls into a trap or whatever, just starts screaming like a little girl, like.
All right, let's get that Tonikawa one in.
All right, Tonikawa. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of clips of this. Jazz is really hyped about this one.
Yeah.
Tonikawa is my GM, dude.
Nasa Yuzaki falls in love at first sight after an encounter with the mysterious Tsukasa. When Nasa earnestly confesses his feelings, she replies, "I'll date you, but only if we're married." Nasa and Tsukasa's cute and precious newlywed life is love is about to be. Wait, what?
I'm in. I'm fucking in. I'm all in. Trips in. I'm about to watch fucking Haikyuu and then Tonikawa right now.
What?
Close it.
So here's the thing, guys. I just want to preface this because you know we're all individual dudes. We have our tastes and whatnot. I don't know if this is gonna be your jam, but I fell in love with it immediately. Like this is one of my top animes. You know that list that Kenny gave us?
Yeah.
Nafu and Bunny Girl. This is up there. This is Tonikawa.
Oh, okay. I'm in there.
Also, be prepared next week as well as the Snafu thing. I'm finishing. Okay, I continued Mr. Love, but I'm not finished. I have like 1 or 2 more episodes left. I want to like at least finish it. That way I can like completely round it up. That way I'm not, talking about it. So just know that I'm watching that. It's still as batshit stupid as it is. The superpowers are pretty interesting. The romance is fucking awful. But if you're into that, you're into that. We've already said our piece about it. I just want to at least go into a spoiler section where I can at least just ruin it for these two and like give them the conclusion because I know that they're not gonna watch it. Like I just
ruin it.
I mean,
China.
It's funny. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week on the next episode. We'll watch those two. We'll watch those 2 anime. We'll give you our thoughts and thanks for letting us talk about waifus, plot, bleach boobies, and bleach in general. So have a good one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This is your host, Ashten, signing off. These are my co-hosts, Jaz and Kenny. Thanks again. See you next time.
Look at Kenny. Bye.
See you.